All right, so you guys know I like to talk about the painting process. But there's something I don't talk about very often, which is the mental process, which I think is just as important. So I've had something on my mind the last few days I've been thinking about, so I thought, okay, maybe I'll share this, maybe interesting to some of you. So I'll give you an example. Point Montera is a location out on the coast that I like to go to a lot. I like painting there. It's a beautiful spot. I've gone out there like 50 times because I like it so much. However, I've only gotten like a handful of paintings that I'm satisfied with from that location. So most of the time, I'm not really happy with the results. But I thought, all right, well, maybe it's about time that I kind of figure out why are these paintings not working and solve this problem. And I think in a way, I kind of been putting it off or just, but I thought it'd be really nice to actually be able to go out there and have it work out. So not only just enjoy the environment, but have a good painting at the end of it. So, so here's how I go about solving a problem like that. And this is what I thought I'd, share with you, because I think painting is all about problem solving. And a lot of that takes place while you're not at the easel. It's like while you're driving around or you're shopping or you're whatever, just, doing dishes. It's the stuff that's in your head, like thinking, how am I going to solve this problem? So anyway, so here's how I go about it. Look, typically if it's a failed painting situation, I'll say, all right, there's like 5 steps here, okay? And if any of those steps break down, then the painting is not going to succeed. So, number 1, we've got composition. So you decide on a composition. Number 2, you sketch it out, just kind of map it out. Number 3, you mix some colors and you lay the colors on there. Number 4, you come in, maybe refine the colors and handle some edges. And then number 5, you kind of just live with it for a day or 2, do touch-ups and call it good, or send it to the scrap heap, or sand it down and paint over it, whatever. So anyway, the question is, where is this breaking down? Where is the problem? Is it in step 1 in composition? And so I thought, all right, in some of them, yeah, it definitely is in composition. It is. It's like how to compose these moving, since the waves are moving, it's like how to compose that. All right, so I think, all right, so the composition is a problem. What about number 2? No, number 2, the sketching out and the drawing seems fine. Number 3, the color seems fine. Actually, the color seems accurate. Number 4, like refining and handling edges. Some of the edges were a problem. I'm like, all right, water is moving and there's this motion. So how do I handle the edges? My brushes tend to leave kind of sharp edges. How do I handle that? How do I soften some of those edges without ruining the brushwork? It's this balance of having the energy of brushwork and yet some of these sort of soft edges that suggest, water or foam or spray or something like that. And then the final thing is just kind of like do some minor cleanup or whatever. Typically that's not going to be where the problem is. If you've gotten to that point, and the painting is working, then usually you can, take care of whatever needs to be taken care of to finish it off. So for me, I was like, all right, I think it's in composition, the way to arrange the waves in the water and trying to find like a interesting abstract pattern in that. And then also handling some of the softer edges. So at least now I've identified the problems. Okay, now I can figure out how to go about solving those problems. All right, so say with composition, I think, all right, what am I going to do about that? Okay, I'll look at a bunch of seascapes. So I'll go out, I'll look at Winslow Homer, I'll look at, Frederick Waugh or William Reichel. I'll look at Ray Roberts and then there's a bunch of local painters who kind of paint in this sort of dark, gloomy, palette knifey kind of way that are really popular. So I look at a lot of work and I think, all right, is there anything here, the way these people have handled this, that I relate to? And to be honest with you, in the particular case, I looked and I thought, all right, there's a few little things, but not really. None of them are really achieving what I'm after, which is a good thing in a way, because I'm not trying to emulate anyone else. I'm trying to capture my experience and my take on a place that, is special to me and is important to me. So even though there are little bits I could find in other people's paintings, it really wasn't working. So then I thought, all right, well, what's the next step? Then I thought, okay, well, maybe if I look at all of my paintings, I can find little bits in my previous paintings from that location and other seascapes that work. And I can hone in on those. Like, okay, wow, you handled the foam here, or the reflections here are like perfect. This really works. Or whatever, or the composition here is really good. So looking for solutions in my previous work and trying to figure out, so in other words, I'm building on my own successes. Isn't that like how evolution works and how things evolve? Is that, the successful characteristics carry on into the next generation of your paintings, right? So that's progress right there through evolution. So you're looking for these little mutations in your work that are successful, and then reproducing those or using those in the future. So that's what I'm thinking about, so I start looking at my work and trying to find clues of where my work is going. All right, so hopefully that gives you some insight into my problem-solving sort of thought process, because I do think, even though it's not really talked about as much, I think it is important, and it's something I try to hold myself to not be lazy and just keep going out and making the same mistakes. So when you go out and you paint and it doesn't work out, or you're not satisfied, be honest about it with yourself, and then face it head on, and like put that painting up and look at it and really ask yourself, okay, did this thing, how's the composition? How's the drawing? How's the color? How are the edges? That sort of thing. Just go through your checklist, or whatever your personal checklist is, and try to figure out where the missing link is, or where the broken link in the chain is, because basically any successful painting is just, a series of successful steps. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys today, but just wanted to share those thoughts with you. So hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.